Hey, it's Thomas Mulready from CoolCleveland.com, and we are here in downtown Cleveland on East 4th Street, and we're here with Democratic candidate for Cuyahoga County Executive, Armond Budish. Mr. Budish, thank you so much for taking time to talk.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. Thanks for your interest in the election.
Oh, we're always interested. This is a big election, okay? This is going to determine a lot about our region, our state, the direction we're going in.
Absolutely.
Why do you want to become the Cuyahoga County Executive?
I have a vision for Cuyahoga County. I'd love to see us put a lot more people to work, create jobs. We need to focus on education. We need to bring our region together. We need to provide collaborative joint purchasing, joint services between our various communities so that our cities and townships can save money. A lot of things we can do here, a lot of very exciting things.
You know, we had some issues with the past county leadership. There's been a big change in this county, and a bit of criticism of the last county executive. What would you do different from the last executive, Ed Fitzgerald?
I think that the county executive Fitzgerald and the county council, led by Ellen Conley, they've done a very good job of restoring trust and integrity to the government. If you don't have people that trust the government, if you don't have people who believe that their taxpayer money is going to be used appropriately, you can't do job creation, you can't do education, you can't do the workforce development training that we need.
So what would you do differently?
I envision building on our assets here. So, for example, we have a great healthcare community. We have institutions, the clinic, University Hospital, Metro, that are internationally known. They're spinning off new businesses, new technologies, new drugs, new medical equipment every day. We need to provide the capital that can sustain those businesses here rather than see those businesses go to New York or Los Angeles or Chicago.
You've been in Columbus for a while, and you've served in the Democratic leadership and Speaker of the House. This has been a particularly unproductive period for legislation and a lot of gridlock basically that's happened at the state level. How would you change that to work with people like County Councilman Jack Schron and folks on the other side of the aisle and folks that don't agree with you? What would you do to change that gridlock?
Well, that's one of my strengths. When I was the Speaker of the House, I was the Speaker with a Democratic House and a Republican-controlled Senate. And we got a lot of things done. We did economic development projects. We passed a law that allowed for the casino to be built earlier. We passed a law that enabled the Global Center for Health Innovation to be done. We passed a budget, which they haven't been able to do with split government in Washington, D.C. So one of my strengths is being able to work with people across the aisle and from diverse backgrounds. We need to have that in the next county executive because we've got 59 unique communities that the county has to work with. We've got to work with our elected officials in Washington and in Columbus, and I can do that.
How would you do that, though? Because it's shown that there's been a lot of gridlock. What would you do differently? Well,
again, I've done that. I've shown that. So I've built relationships over the years that will be helpful already. I've been endorsed by most of the mayors in the county. I've been endorsed by our congressional legislators in Washington. I've been endorsed by Senator Brown. I've been supported by Mayor Jackson. So I have those kinds of relationships existing, which will help me talk with them, work with them to bring what we need to Northeast Ohio.
You know, the Democratic Party is not like it used to be. It's imploded a bit over the past few months and years here. What would you do to help bring that back, and how much responsibility do you think you hold for some of that?
Well, first of all, I don't believe that I would characterize the Democratic Party as having imploded. There are some great candidates on the ticket right now that I believe are doing a great job. Senator Turner from here in Northeast Ohio, David Pepper, Connie Pillich, you go through the list, and they're running good campaigns, and I think they have a shot at winning.
And so what would you do to help strengthen the Democratic Party in this region, if that is in fact a goal of yours?
Well, one of the things we're doing right now as part of my campaign is we're trying to get people out to vote. That's critical. The more people that come out to vote, the better our whole county does. You know, the right to vote is bedrock to our democracy, and we're hearing stories that the voter turnout's going to be low in this election. That would be terrible. We need to make sure that people understand the importance of my race, the importance of the judicial races, the importance of the importance of the state legislative races, and the statewide ticket. People need to come out to vote. Otherwise, you get what you deserve.
Talk specifically about what you have done and what you would do as county executive to help get out the vote. It is the bedrock of democracy.
We've been encouraging people. We've been trying to explain the importance of these races. We've been active in getting out absentee ballot applications to people. We've been doing phone banking. We've been doing canvassing. We've been knocking on doors. I've probably myself talked to thousands of people over the last year and a half about what I view as important for the county, what my vision would be, and I've heard from people. People have told me what they would like to see us doing, which has helped me shape my plans for the future.
The county is changing. How would your priorities change in terms of where you see this county going in the future?
One of the most important things we should be doing is making sure that we're training people for the jobs that exist. There are thousands of good jobs, good paying jobs that don't require advanced degrees that are open in Cuyahoga County right now, but the employers are saying we can't find enough workers with the right training for those jobs. Manufacturing jobs, IT jobs, healthcare jobs. We need to be working with bringing together the employers with Tri-C and with the vocational schools and the K-12 schools and the labor apprenticeship programs to make sure that those organizations understand what the needs of the employers are and then are providing the right curriculum and training for those jobs.
So when you talk about economic development, there is a fund here, a $100 million fund. Talk about what you would change in that, or is it just fine the way it is?
What we need to be doing is looking at how we can support small businesses. That's critically important, and not just downtown, although I'm certainly supportive of business downtown, but you know, the corner salon or the corner drugstore, you know, for $5,000 or $10,000 or $25,000, they might be able to survive if they're having trouble, or they might be able to hire another 2 or 3 employees. That's the way we grow businesses. And banks are often reluctant to make those small micro loans. So the county should be playing an active role in micro lending.
Talk specifically about your plans for that, how you would help stimulate small business growth.
Well, the micro lending is part of that. We need to be aggressively out there. Another thing is supporting entrepreneurs who want to start businesses. So I've already had conversations. We could create entrepreneurial centers at each of the public libraries where they will set aside space for these entrepreneurial centers with a computer, high-speed internet access. We could provide as a county 3D printers or fabricators or other equipment. Plus, we could be the leverage for mentorships, tying in with CASE and with Tri-C and with Launch House and BISDM and these other incubator-type programs that are already out there, making it easier for entrepreneurs in Northeast Ohio to get the support, financial support, the equipment support, and the mentoring support that they need.
When you say tying in, are you talking about more money that the county would help raise and offer to small businesses through these vehicles like a launch house or incubators?
Well, certainly resources are important, but it doesn't have to be just resources. Again, the county can be playing a coordination role where we're bringing people who are already doing training in entrepreneurial activities from CASE or Cleveland State to the libraries to support these people.
Right. There's been some talk, because I think of Ed Fitzgerald's move from position to position very quickly, and now your move into this position, that it's really just a political sort of stepping stone. Your term limited out of your former position, and now you're running in this position. Can you address that to the people that have some concerns that it's really just a sort of a rotating wheel here where you get on, you move to the next position, and you're not as serious about making real change in this position as county executive?
That's just political rhetoric coming from the other side. You know, I'm a person of commitment. I follow my commitments. I've been married 35 years to the same woman. I've served in the House for 8 years, a full 8 years. I didn't run for political office before that, so this is the only seat I've ever held in the political world. And it's interesting that my opponent raises it because he's only been in his seat for less than 4 years and running for a higher position.
Let's say you're elected county executive. We look back after 4 years and we see what has happened. What would a successful Budish administration look like in retrospect after 4 years?
I would like to see more people working. I would like to see the unemployment rate much lower. I'd like to see us having strengthened education, both at the beginning, the preschool, high-quality preschool for many more of our youth, and I'd like to see more of our kids have access to an affordable college education. Another thing that I believe in is making sure that those people who are currently eligible for veterans benefits or Medicaid health care benefits are able to get those, to access those. There are thousands of people in Cuyahoga County right now that are eligible for veterans and Medicaid and other services and are not getting them, either because they don't know that they're available or because the system's too intimidating for them. The county can do a much better job of outreach, of going into the community, of explaining the programs and signing people up if they're eligible. So, and that stabilizes families. I'd also like to see our neighborhoods stabilized. We need to deal with the blight of foreclosed and abandoned homes. And the county right now is considering a bond issue to help support demolition, which needs to be combined with rehabilitating homes that can be saved and improving communities generally.
Speaking of rehabilitation, folks coming out of prison, re-entry, any thoughts on that? Any plans there at the county level?
Absolutely. You know, we pay as a county for a number of projects. There's no reason why we can't, when we put money into a project, require that some of the people, it doesn't have to be everybody, it doesn't even have to be a lot, but some of the people be hired that are former prisoners, that they get the training that they need so that then they can go out and independently work on their own.
Mr. Budish, thanks so much for taking time here in a busy campaign season.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for your interest in the campaign.
Hey, it's Thomas Mulready from CoolCleveland.com. Have a great week in Cool Cleveland.